video, we're going to be discussing layering synths for this hook and even the drop section. And for future bass, layering synths is a little bit different than with other genres of music. That's because in future bass, one of the big elements of the drop or the hook or breakdown of the song is actually just synth sounds, right? We've been playing these all tutorial course now. Right, and we have a Spire synth making that sound. We have a Synthmaster synth making this one. Okay, and off camera at some point, I added this Serum bass, or the Serum synth. And this specific synth destroys my CPU. I don't know why. It's just a simple synth in Serum, but it is a really cool saw sound that I made. Like, it's a really nice sound. I like it. So what I did was I recorded it in with the same chords that we used here, and I bounced that out to audio, and that's what you hear here. Okay, so as of right now, we have 3 different synth chord sounds for the drop. Okay, so let's start to mix these a little bit and just do the general things that I would like to do when I'm layering these. So I'm going to load up a channel EQ on all of these. And what I'm going to do for that is cut out all the lows. So let's recall the default, because I'm going to have a bass and a sub bass here. So let's just get rid of the low. Everything from about 100 down on that will work. All right, we're going to do a similar thing with this synth as well, coming from Synthmaster. And I'm going to cut out from about 1K to 5K, because that's where the vocals are probably primarily living. So it's going to give it room to breathe. Okay, now I have an instance of sausage fattener on this plugin. That's because I bounced it poorly. I just needed this for the gain, basically. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to load up a EQ plugin, and we're just going to use the native one in Logic. We're going to analyze it, take out the lows. We don't need those. Okay, so now it's a matter of figuring out which one I want to be the main synth, which one's kind of adding character, and which one's kind of playing like the support role to the main synth. That's how I like to think about it. And we might add one more as well, because they're all very saw-oriented. Okay, so there's 2 parts to layering synths for future bass. There's actually layering different synth sounds together. And if you're wondering why I used 3 different synths for this, I touched on this earlier in the tutorial course. Every soft synth, every hardware synth, they all have their own unique character and sound. And I wanted to kind of blend the different characters together. So let's go to Anna now, and let's find a preset that we can layer this. I want to find like a square-oriented preset. So you can turn some presets into... a string one might actually be interesting, into a future bass sound quite easily. That one's actually a cool preset though. All right, so here's a happy little accent that I've talked about before. Let's try seeing how that one feels. I know we're working on the drop right now, or the hook, but let's see how this feels in the breakdown. Like that. We might leave that in there. like the movement that it adds. Yeah, I actually like that sound a lot for the breakdown. Let's try that one more time with the vocals. So what I might do now is have a pair out left and right of this synth from Massive that we talked about earlier. It's kind of this like 80s sound. And then this sound out left and right. And let's turn the attack up on this Massive sound now to get it to fit a little bit more. So Massive default envelope that controls the amp mod is envelope 4. Okay, and let's turn the attack up on the filter envelope on this preset. All right, so let's get back to the drop layering now. I'm gonna duplicate that Anna track, copy and paste this down, and we're gonna unmute the synth. So I'm looking for like a square saw type sound, and Anna might be the wrong synth for this application. Might be easier to do Silent actually, but let's see what we got here. We could conceivably do a triangle as well. So let's with this, let's go to one of the factory banks. There's some cool stuff in some of these. Let's do leads here. Okay, so that one's already cool. So let's do a triangle wave on these. So this is triangle, pulse, and saw. Let's do triangle on this one as well. Okay, that one might be a cool layer because it doesn't sound like the other ones. And it has more mid-tone to it, so what I might do to round this out, the frequency range, I might cut some of the highs. Because let's leave that to the synths that sound better in the highs, which in this example is the synth from Spire. That's crispy as hell. All right, so what we're gonna do now is copy and paste the LFO tool that I have on the other synth sounds right here. We're gonna copy and paste that on to the Anna patch. If you don't know, I've touched on the LFO tool. Huge part of Future Bass is having these synth chords that are either sidechain compressed or you're using a plugin like the LFO tool, or there's a few others out there that do it like Cable Guys, Curve, and all that sort of stuff. So let's play this together now that we have the LFO tool there. All right, and I do want to point out that the faders on all of my tracks right now are really low, and that's because I have the music all turned down, so my voice is of a similar volume. Otherwise, this would be a lot louder than my voice and kill your guys' ear. When we do the final mix, though, we're going to have to kind of combat that anyway, but this is why the fader is so low. I'm just trying to get the levels right in a ratio sense. All right, so I really like where that Anna chord, that Anna sound's coming from. And again, it was as simple as just kind of tweaking a lead that I liked inside of Anna. I'm going to turn the reverb down a little. All right, so that's the first step of laying your synths, is getting a well-rounded frequency range. And I would suggest trying to use all the synths that you have, not all of them, but go through the different soft synths that you own to get a different texture and a more unique sound. Because a square and a saw, if you're using all from the same synth, there's only so much you can do to make it unique. All right, so Now let's look at this in kind of more of, we looked at it from a painting perspective of, is it full, is it big, is it bright? Now let's look at it more from a frequency perspective. And we've done a little bit of that, but let's pull up a multimeter and let's make sure that we don't have too much low frequencies in these chords. All right, so we're good there. Now that we got the frequency range, we have a really cool sound. It's time to look, for me, the next thing I'll do, I want to look at the stereo image of these. So we're going to go to a goniometer. All right, so there's a huge problem. This is the hardest part about mixing for future bass, is getting the synth sounds to sit right with the vocal. And we're going to look more at this during the video when we do the static mix, but you are going to have to pan these out somewhere, right? You can't just have 4 synth sounds stacked up the middle, plus your bass, plus your kick and your snare, and expect a vocal to cut through it. That's why a lot of time these drops don't have vocals, but I was being adventurous and I wanted to do a vocal. So we're going to touch on that when we get to the static mixing part of the tutorial course. But for now, we're going to do something else. We're going to do some different voicings with these chords, because right now we have 4 different synths playing the exact same voicings of the chord in the exact same octave range. So if you think of like a symphony, that would never happen, right? You have different sections. So this is my low synth, right? Or the low of the synth chords. So what I'm going to do is go into my MIDI editor here. Okay, what we're going to do here is just rearrange some of these notes. Let's put the B there on the first chord. I still want the bottom note being the note that I was playing. Let's put a G on top. All right, G's already on top, so let's see what this is. That's B. Let's put a D3 on top. All right, so that doesn't sound that cool. So let's just take these other 2 notes out. So now this sound from Anna is that. Okay, now I'm going to go through and do that with all of them. So we're taking the high note, this B, putting it right there. We're going to take out the... Let's see if we can get this note. All right, G. Let's see if we have another G anywhere. All right, so let's take this G. We're gonna make this really compact voicing. Okay. All right, doing the same thing with this. Pop this down to a G. That's already a G. So that's an E. Now this will be more fluid. So now we're making this unique voicing for this instrument. So, because now there's going to be less conflicting information, and I haven't even panned it out. That's the last thing I want to do to get these to fit together nice. All right, so we're going to go through and do that with the other 2 chords as well. All right, so the B's already there. All right, so let's take this note. This is a G. Pop it right there. That's an E, so that's already there. Take this down. That might be cool on the bottom. Let's try. I don't mind it. It's hard to hear because it's so low in the mix. Anyway, but these are the types of things that help your track have a much more unique character. So we have a couple chords left to do this too. So this is a B. All right, it's already there, so we can keep that how it is. It's a G. All right, so we pop that right there. So that B is going to be there. All right, so those voicings I actually kind of like, don't mind them. Let's go B3 there. What's this one? All right, so we already have that one. So let's just delete that and listen to this. All right, that'll be cool. So what I'm gonna do now is delete this other one and we're gonna copy and paste it out. So we have just a much different voicing. And this will pair nicer with the other synths. Let me turn this up and we'll listen to it with the Spire one. All right, so the only one I don't like is that this chord right here. And that's the one that had the note, the tonic, not on the bottom. So let's try that one again. All right, it's a little bit better. Let's copy and paste that out. So now we've started the process of creating some interesting voicings. All right, now let's compare these two together, the Spire synth and the Synth Master one. All right, so there's a little bit more higher frequency content in the Spire one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through and we are going to delete the bass notes. Right, just get rid of that information altogether, because that's more where this synth is living. So I really like that chord now because it's kind of making it have that dreamy quality. All right, so the Serum Bounce and this one, they can live together. Well, actually what we could do, let's delete this. Don't erase, copy and paste this information down. Let's see how this feels. I'm gonna turn on the Serum patch. My hard drive, my computer's gonna hate me, but let's turn the voicing down to 3 and 4 voices. Ooh, that might be cool, taking out the highs. All right, I'm gonna bounce that in place real quick. All right, let's see how that sounds now, because that's kind of filtered out. We'll pair that with the Anna chord synth. Get that dreamy quality. All right, I think I like how it sounds. Let's actually turn these down. Okay, now let's do one more thing to this sound. We've pretty much done our synth layering for the drop outside of mixing. I'm gonna take all the frequencies out from about 85 hertz down in both that Anna synth and this Serum synth, because that's where our sub bass is gonna live, and we're gonna add a sub bass in the next video. So let's bring all the sounds back in together, and this is our synth stack. right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.
If you like this course, why not head over to sonicacademy.com, where we have hundreds of complete track builds in every genre imaginable, including all the project files and samples. You'll also find tutorials on plugins and synths, mixing and mastering, over 250 tech tips, artist interviews, along with our award-winning plugins, samples and preset packs.